I just watched the Diabetes Network, right? And when I walked in, listen, when I walked in, it was actors from The List in here, right? Brian White and Claudia Jordan.
Like we were looking at The List.
You know, and I'm just looking at all the work being done, right?
Yeah.
At this stage of the game, how is it that do you I know you whiteboard, but how do you stay focused on so many different things that are going? I mean, so many different things you're doing right now, and it's looking like crispy. It's like it's better than a lot of these TV shows that's out right now, and the films that are out. So I just seen part of the list. Crazy. Wait till everybody sees that. It's like crazy. Diabetes Network is on point. Yeah.
Dash Diabetes Network.
Dash Diabetes Network. Yeah.
Total network with the platform.
But how do I
make it all happen?
Yeah. Like how do you really do it? Yeah.
I think because of my experience, like doing all these things, like doing a movie at an independent level and making music at a certain level and doing all the different things at a certain level, I've learned how to hustle smartly.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So like I would sometimes do something wrong and be working really hard and not getting the result. But what I learned was making sure you have the right team around you and doing what you really love and doing it for honest reasons. You know, you get things at a certain quality and you don't have to compromise your quality of living. Okay. So basically I had to figure out how to live with my children coming first as opposed to the business coming first. Like, I don't believe your children should have to adjust to your schedule. I think you're supposed to adjust to the kids' schedule.
Business is supposed to adjust to the kids' schedule.
Yeah, well, that was the way I approached it. Like, when Tallulah was born, and that was really what happened. I was like, I'm not going to, you know, what I'm going to do, go to walk somebody through a concert so they can make money for their children, so I can miss taking my kid to get a lollipop or teaching her how to walk, or, you know, some stranger's going to be around her and have to depend on faith that that person doesn't have something twisted in there, you know what I mean? Like, so I just had to construct and architect my whole world to facilitate my children's schedule and also being able to spend time with my woman. So the way you spend time with your woman is make sure that what you're doing and what you're monetizing is her dreams. You know what I'm saying? Because then she's working with you and she's happy, and when you win, she wins, and you empower her. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, everything feels like a date.
Yeah.
You know, but then you have to also get good at doing something that you really love.
Right.
You know, not for money, because you really love it. But then you have to understand, in order to really do it the right way, the way you really want to do it, meaning making mistakes and all that, the only way to be in control is almost to do it on your own. You know, figuring out how to use your own money and your own capital. And it doesn't have to be on such a big level. See, like, you've seen me do every variation. You've seen me do TV shows at a smaller variation. You've seen me do them at a bigger variation. All of that was practice. So from what I was doing in North Carolina to what I was doing, making the movies, I consider all those experiences practice. And I'm always make something from it, you know, and especially a mistake. I'm not going to do it correct, but I'll be able to do it again and do it again. You understand?
Yeah, because it was almost like 200, but it was like a warm-up for the list.
That was completely a warm-up. Everything, a list is a warm-up for something else. Like if I don't evolve and get better, and then also we just finished the Culture Vulture book.
Right.
And I'm proud of it, and it's done, and it's time for it to come out. It's completely done now.
Yeah.
You know, Rocky did a thing, you did your thing, I did my thing, my son did his thing, you know.
Oh, of course, my hip-hop motivation, they all
the whole team did their thing. So now it's time to come out. It's a creative piece.
Yes.
But now it's time to start to bring the things out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the question is, how do I juggle doing everything?
Right.
These plans that I'm doing didn't just happen overnight. Rocky and I have been working on it for the last 8 years.
Wow.
I mean, you gotta think, we had to build a brand new brand. Nothing that I'm doing has anything to do with Rockefeller. But, you know, I almost got Gary Coleman to where the only thing you think about when you see Dame Dash is Rockefeller, and Rockefeller didn't define me. So I just spent the last 10 years just working on my point of view and my artistic expression. That's why I had to do it my way. My way wasn't really such a street way. My way was to be artistic and to, you know, have art galleries and create an environment that my daughters could be in and give millennials, which is now millennials, but give people that were creative a platform just to do what they want to do without compromise of quality of living. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was invested in a future model, you know, to stay home and make money doing what you love model, like, you know, go take your kids to school and lay by the pool, but also be very effective model. So I just learned how to hustle wiser. It wasn't an overnight thing.
Right.
It takes a lot of talking. It takes a lot of whiteboarding. It takes a lot of trust. Because sometimes if you have a plan and you do it 5 years later, sometimes you forget the plan. Sometimes like things happen, I'm like, that was always in the plan. I almost forgot about that. It just happened naturally, but that was the plan. So everything that we did now, we planned this out years ago. And we also planned out being happy and being with each other and raising my daughters and having more kids, but still being able to enjoy art on our terms.
Right.
You know, not investing in other people. It took us to be confident in investing in ourselves. And as a result, yes, there's a Dash Diabetes Network. I'm diabetic. You know, there's movies that I directed. There's books that we wrote, all independent. There's, you know, streaming services, there's liquors, but it's all independent. No debt on the companies. You know, they can become profitable when I feel like it. You know, I don't have any stress of paying any bills where I have to push the company to do things that I feel compromised just to pay the bills and keep the lights on.
Yeah.
You know, because that's usually what's haunting me is I've always put up so much money in something that I got to compromise to keep it in business. So I no longer had that strategy. And in that strategy, all the opportunities just come to me. But I'm working every day. So I get to sit by the pool a good amount of the day, but I'm working. And when I'm working, it's intense and it's better than everyone else. I'm on some 300 shit where one man of mine, pause, works better than 10 of yours. You know
what day of the week do you just say or is there a time during the week that you just say, I'm not working today or I'm not doing anything, I'm just spending time with family? I know.
Well, not that, yes. There's days that everyone knows I don't work.
You don't
and
do
times in those days.
Is it like a Sunday?
Like, you know, you be like, yo, you know not that on certain days that we don't see each other till a certain time.
Exactly.
Because I have to be with my children.
Right.
So the children, it's almost like when I look at other cultures and I see a lot of religious holidays, those holidays are more for the family to get together and to stop work so that they can spend time together and sit at the table.
Right.
What we've tried to do is sophisticate having it like that, but organically. So Rocky makes sure that we damn near eat at a table once or twice a day.
Nice.
And we sit down, especially with my daughters. You know, and it's the best time, or get to sit down with me, my son, my girl, my daughter, myself, whoever's there at the time, and just eat and talk and just understand what we did in the day.
Right.
And just those times are important, you know, and you have to, the only way to architect that life is to be independent.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I definitely think, and I know that's been, just from knowing you over 15 years and just understanding that that's the biggest part of your success, whether you know it or not. And I know you know it, is that you put the material stuff last, and what you do is you put the spiritual things that matter the most, which is being a father, being a great man to your to your woman, and just understanding that the first things you don't have things out of order. Like most people put things out of order. They put the money first above everything.
That's insecurity.
Right.
Like when you think money coming before love, that's
insecurity.
That means you think you can only get love by buying it with the money.
Based on what you have.
Right, you know what I'm saying? But love is really, that's priceless. You can't really buy that. You know what I'm saying? So having a family and appreciating your family and doing right, that is the wealth.
Right. And seeing your children grow up.
And that's also the test. So if somebody says, yo, here's a bag of money, but you can't be around your kids no more, or they got to adjust to your lifestyle, or you now have to be worried about other people before your family. You you got to think about when you're an artist, your fans come before your family. Mm-hmm. Like if you're missing your kids' special moments to go do some business or do a show, that means that business just came before your family. Even though in your mind you're like, well, I got to make the money to support my family. I think you have to work a little harder to make it where you can support your family and be there and not miss those moments that are priceless. Because having children, I've been able to compare experiences. I've been a different version of a dad. I was a different dad to Boogie than I was to Ava, than I am to Lucky, than I am to Tallulah.
Right.
And I know that this dad that I am now is to me the best version for my children and for myself. I'm having the most fun. Honestly, there's no party or no feeling or no television and no red carpet and no girl that can come before or give me a better feeling than taking my kid to get a cookie and making her smile.
Yeah, that's why I bring up the incident that happened when Ava was younger, And I remember we were sitting at the table. I remember, Rachel was there and her mother, and she said something she said something that really wasn't in good taste to you. And so the driver was waiting for you. You and Biggs were going somewhere. But that was on pause because you had to, it was like your form of discipline. It was like there was no hitting, no yelling. You pulled her to the side, she was crying, and you was talking to her like why what she did was wrong. You made her apologize, and I was like, wow, I was looking at that like, that's interesting because the guys were waiting on you. But that didn't matter because family comes first. And the lesson comes first. And that's really what it's all about. It's like putting those things first. Yeah. And so it's like you have to reevaluate yourself. Like if you're a man or a woman that's out there now and you're living your life based on materialism and you're thinking that this is it. And don't get me wrong, money is important. That's as important as oxygen.
That's the test.
It's a test.
It's a test. Like you can make money, but it's like, is all money good money? You know what I'm saying?
It's not good money if you're not with your family.
If you're not with your family, if you're compromising your values, if you don't feel good doing it, you know what I'm saying? All those things, at least in my book, you know what I'm saying? Like I've been able to do things a certain way, and the way I'm doing things now, to me, makes a better version of me for my family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they come first. Like their happiness comes first. I think being consistent in your child's life is very important.
I agree.
Them knowing that you're going to be there at a certain time, or them knowing that if you're going to call, they can show up. If you're going to show up in 5 minutes, it's not going to make or break a kid, but that just makes them more comfortable, and it makes me more comfortable.
I mean, even if they live out of town, just knowing that you're on call, like no matter what, you're going to pick up the phone. Just know.
Consistency.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm around my kids so much, they be like, I need a break. You know what I'm saying? And I like that. Because I mean, like, I'm having more fun. Like, I have fun with my children. Yeah. I really have fun with them. I don't know how anyone does it. That doesn't make sense to me not to watch something that you made grow and evolve and to guide it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's really what it is.
If you don't teach your kid life well, and life is a lot harsher. Mm-hmm. So I would rather be able to teach the kids and try to figure out how they can learn from my mistakes as opposed to learning from pain. Because I learned a lot from pain. Yeah. And I don't want to have them learn from the same kind of pain I had to learn from, if it could be avoided.
I shared that with people. Like I'm telling you, that situation, that always stuck out to me because I remember you guys was on your way out. I think you were heading to, it was like some probably get together or something, and the driver was waiting, and Biggs was already gone, but it was like you took time and you stopped everything, and you had to make sure she understood what she did was wrong. And she was probably like 4 or something. She wasn't even like, she wasn't even, it was like she was young. She
was a baby.
Yeah, she was a baby. But it still was enough because it was like, it just was in bad taste, whatever she did.
It's the same thing. Children. You're a father, you have to, give guidance to your kids.
Yo, this is Kenyatta with Hip Hop Motivation. First of all, I want to tell everybody out there, thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing to our YouTube page. And if you haven't liked, commented, or subscribed to our YouTube page, make sure you do so. Stay in tune. We have a lot more to come. Peace.
When you writing a book, Dave?
I'm writing. I also have a book. I have a book called Culture Vultures.
Wait, what's it called?
It's called Culture Vultures. Have you ever looked at the hip hop motivations that I do?
Yeah, absolutely.
So me and Kenyatta did a book, and it's already written. He wrote it. We done with it, and I'm also giving it out in different ways. So it's gonna be an auditory experience as well.
It's a series. The Fashion Game. Culture Vultures, the book. In business, Damon's a guy that's worn many hats.
Yo, you can either think of a master plan or get mastered by somebody else's plan. Check it. As a barber, one of the most important life lessons I learned is to never do anything without seeing the ending result first. Before I understood the value of seeing results, I used to waste a lot of time sometimes doing double work because I didn't have a vision of where I was going. Then I started taking consultations more serious by not even turning on my clippers until I had a clear understanding of the result my client was planning to see. And in turn, it became easier to achieve the style they wanted to see in half the time. Real talk, the most successful barbers and beauticians are the ones that see the ending results before they start any service. Write this down. Before making any moves, know where you're going. Deciding from thoughts of being sick and tired of something, starting something, or admiring something can be the emotions that fuel change. Because write this down. Emotion leads to passion, passion leads to action, and action leads to results. Word up. Question: what's the number one killer of dreams? If you said fear, you're wrong. Fear is on the list, but it's not the number one killer. The number one killer of dreams is comfort. The comfort of a good paying job or in an active relationship can seduce us for many years into the rhythm of accepting things without making any moves to change, further numbing us into a state of zombie-like passiveness. Write this down. Passiveness will cause your dreams to pass you by.
Dash thing. Nah, I don't want to chill out, bro. You know what I want to do? Believe in yourself. Build your own personal wealth. Then that becomes personal health. I think I'm rhyming. How about that?
Everything go down here. Just gotta, know what I mean, be a little smart.
I see you grooving right now. I was in my groove. Yeah. Ooh. I started daydreaming. I started thinking about something.
I'm a musician.
Yeah, exactly.
I like to spend all kinds of money. I like the dollar, I like the euro, I like the pound, I like the franc pause, I like the yen.